In the red corner, standing just shy of 6 feet tall and coming in right on the money of the upper weight limit of 175 pounds of slick moving muscle, the man who can't be touched, Roy Jones Jr. Roy would be defending his light heavyweight title on the night, and coming into this fight with one of the best records in boxing history. 41 fights, 40 wins, and just the one loss coming by way of questionable disqualification. In the 41 fights, Jones Jr. would become the middleweight, super middleweight and light heavyweight world champion. But standing in his way, a bad boy of boxing from the mean streets of New York coming into this fight on the back of winning the North American Light Heavyweight Championship. Standing slightly taller than the champion and weighing in on the upper limit at a cool 175 pounds, David Telesco. David wouldn't be no pushover coming into the fight on the back of 22 wins in a row and fighting his way through the ranks. From fighting in leisure centres to working his way up with no Olympic background, David Telesco would have to put in the work to get where he was. Before we get into the fight, let's meet our fighters. Roy Jones Jr., a living legend and a pound-for-pound great. He was a force to be reckoned with in the boxing world, known for his unparalleled speed, dazzling footwork and devastating power. Jones Jr. inside the ring was second to none, but outside the ring, his celeb lifestyle was getting the better of him. Coming into the fight, Roy was the reigning WBA, WBC and IBF light heavyweight champion. On the other side of the ring stood David the Destroyer Telesco. A bad boy of the sport, had previously served time in prison for selling narcotics on the streets of New York, but was a determined and skilled fighter, climbing the ranks and eager to prove himself against the best. Not a natural boxer, Telesco would change disciplines late in life, coming to boxing after playing college football, before losing his place in the squad after arguing with the head coach. Telesco's impressive record and reputation as a hard-hitting contender made him a worthy challenger for the fighter of the decade, Roy Jones Jr. Hey fight fans, I'm Frank Monroe and welcome back to Below the Belt Boxing, where today we're diving into the archives to relive the electrifying build-up to the clash for the light heavyweight titles between the legendary Roy Jones Jr. and David Telesco. A fight that Roy Jones should have made light work of, with Telesco coming in as the 20-1 outside favourite. The announcement of Jones Jr. versus Telesco in New York City sent fans into initial enjoyment, but soon after, fans would be in confusion as the booking was not the famed Madison Square Garden, but for the grand stage of Radio City, a place usually known for big music concerts and never having held a sports event. The small amount of 6,000 tickets would go on sale and sell out in just a day. As the fight drew near, analysts dissected the matchup. Jones Jr.'s unmatched athleticism and unorthodox style contrasted with Telesco's determination and knockout power. The clash of these contrasting styles created a buzz of anticipation, with fans divided not on who would emerge victorious, but what round of the fight would Roy Jones do the business. On fight night, Roy would start the night with a packed stage of can-can dancers, really setting the stage for the theatrical arena. The venue was not like the usual boxing event with a centered ring and a wraparound audience, but a main stage with just ringside seats and 6,000 watching in, as it was a concert. Before the fight, Jones would be slightly more tight-lipped on his shenanigans on how he would run down the fight, leading to fans' raised eyebrows as if something may have been wrong in the training camp. The ring walk would see Telesco walk proudly with the Italian colliers on his outfit, representing his late mother's home country. Coming out to the home crowd of New York City, Roy the champion would come out second after a slight delay, with the tech specialist playing the wrong walkout song. Jones would still be in the tuxedo he started the show in. That got us thinking, did Roy Jones Jr. warm up before the fight?
So shake hands now and come on, boxing at the bell, and good luck.
The 90s, and now the zeros. Faithful service to the sport from Mercanti, whose son, Mercanti Jr.,
stands back and watch. He's probably the best fighter around that watches what he's doing.
For him to punch himself out so that I can have an easier time of it later on. Telesco has a tendency to start slowly and get better in the later rounds.
After a few range-finding attempts, Jones's right hand sailed over Telesco's guard and popped him hard in the forehead. Pushing out a slow jab, Telesco again felt Jones's fist on his face. In blurry flashes of pure speed, Jones again and again stung Telesco with lead right hands. Just to keep him honest, Jones occasionally mixed his assaults with lead rights to the body. Both punches landed clean, often and without any warning. Telesco, unable to react, was virtually defenseless.
And in addition to his speed, his creativity. The first round. That's what's happened. And it was an easy round for the titleist. A man of few punches, not throwing many, as he mostly looked at Jones and absorbed Jones's unconventional attack.
You're supposed to be watching little things like that.
Straight right hand left.
Jab his chest, make him get his feet together.
In the second round, Telesco overcame his own amazement long enough to paw with a telegraph jab towards Jones's chest. These half-hearted attempts at offence only opened him up more, and Jones continued firing big right hand after big right hand.
What you got to do is, you gotta back away, let the left hand just stick out anyway.
And you saw something there. Telesco fired his jab.
It's all right to drop it, get your hands down, but stay in position as you back up. Good puncher like Roy Jones, you got to be a rubber man.
That right hand drove Telesco's head back. And Jones misses with another.
We do something all the time. Good counter punchers, they hate some fighter
Firing his right hand to the body and again.
To his side. So this guy's got to make it.
To change things up in the third round, Jones switched to a southpaw stance, and again Telesco could do little more than watch. Sneaking a stinging right hook over Telesco's glove, Jones continued to smash his opponent's head. The third would also bring that classic Roy Jones Jr. showboating, dancing the old can't-be-touched dance, which the crowd would adore.
Hasn't done badly out of that southpaw stance, and dances for the crowd a little bit.
Junior is in great condition.
I think the dance may actually have been for our on-the-apron ringside camera. Not too far away from Carroll are Roy's two twin boys. Terrific-looking young men.
Not at all, kid. 30 to 27, 3-0 Roy Jones. But I better stop here because it looks like I may increase.
Telesco's going to risk it as quite ahead.
Well, he's attacking now. Telesco should have done that in the first round. He wouldn't have so much swelling. Attacking.
Stop!
It's quite a shouting match in there.
Stop the talking, boss!
By the fourth round, Telesco was reduced to attempting to frustrate Jones out of his rhythm, verbally taunting Jones with expletive-laced boasts, and wrestling with Jones when he got close amounted to the sum of Telesco's competitive offering.
Since that time, certain states started to forbid that.
You heard Arthur McCanty.
I don't want to talk about that.
He's discombobulated. There's nothing he's ever done before.
Jones humiliated Telesco at his own game. Having briefly trapped Jones in a corner but unable to land, Telesco backed off towards centre ring. At first Jones followed, but then he dropped his hands and retreated to the corner, inviting Telesco to not give up his advantage.
Upstairs to nail Telesco with a right hand there. And a left-right combination.
The second half of the fight would bring Jones settling into coasting mode. Telesco was now bewildered and frustrated, and so he stood still. Perhaps he was waiting for an opening that would never come. Perhaps he was content to get hit less by being inactive, or perhaps he was hoping that Jones would tire. Either way, Roy Jones was doing the most Roy Jones way of boxing, throwing not lots of punches but throwing bunches, seeing success with pretty much everything he threw. Could the bad boy from New York plant one on the chin and upset the champion in the later stages?
Take your rounds and go the distance.
Telesco.
Making great exits. But it looks to me as though he's really trying to make a great into the scoring area. Right, Jones, you see, right there. Hit him right in the ribs, not on the elbows.
Hasim Rahman landed in our lap a couple of months ago. Our collective lap.
Arthur McCanty is how old?
80.
Good gracious.
In a couple of weeks.
And he makes these guys pay attention.
Four-punch combination by Jones. Yeah, expensive seats, and they're all fairly expensive seats here. Not if they saw him.
The later stages of the fight would see Roy sitting back and taking care of business with his defensive movement. David would still come forward, swinging punches upstairs and below, mainly block or dodged by the champion, but some were seeing it way on target.
He's working as an expert commentator and in effect calling him out. Roy ignored them for months.
Roy is standing in and exchanging with him for a moment there.
Roy throws his punches like you do a baseball bat. He just throws them upside a guy's head. Do you know that Archie Moe would not allow me to throw punches like that? So listen, George, if you're going to hit these guys, go for the knockout. If he's hurt, it's best to just go on and get it over with.
So Archie wanted you to punch more through the target instead of at it?
No, you just want to get the guy out of there. But when you start using your hands just like a rock or something, turn the shot over, get your knockout.
Jones backs into a corner gain and gives Telesco a chance to land. And Telesco lands 2 body shots and a straight right upstairs. And comes back pounding to the ribcage. Best rally so far for Telesco, or one of them. And Jones accepts the punishment.
The 8th round would see Telesco coming forward and doing a lot of work, but with no real sting on the end of it. Roy would be taking it all in his stride, tying up his man in the up-close and personal clinches.
Under the skin around his middle, because he's absorbed a tremendous body beating.
80-year-old fight. You're doing good. Keep fighting, Bob. Come on, do it. Do it.
Here you see Telesco in his best round, a round he might have won, landing a hard right elbow.
Round 9 begins.
In the past, when Roy Jones has been this far ahead in a fight,
Going to be champ of the world.
Right hand drives Telesco back. This is the Telesco of early in the bout, throwing few punches, missing when he does, and being pot-shotted from the outside by Roy Jones.
Abuse.
Because the glove slides across your skin.
Yeah, he just slaps it. But I just can't say enough for this referee. He's 80 years old. He stood up and bounced every round.
Old ain't old anymore. You doggone right, George.
The 9th round would see Telesco with his best opportunity of the fight, getting Roy Jones in the corner and letting everything in the kitchen sink go. Roy would roll with every punch and come out unscathed, unleashing a combo of his own to show the fans who he was.
well, told him in the corner, you don't have to take any chances, keep him in the center of the ring, etc., etc.
More aggressive level than that.
Now he did something smart. He threw a left hook to Jones.
In the 10th round, Telesco would have a bit of showboating of his own, fighting with his hands low, leaving Roy to do a bit of target practice. Towards the end of the round, he would get his hands back up with Jones throwing punches from distance with a right sting on the end of them.
Backs into a corner again. Let's see if Telesco accepts the invitation. Nope. Roy 1-2s and goes away. Actually blocked by Telesco's elbow that time. That one Roy got in. And that stops Telesco's momentum for the time being.
Stop!
30 what?
He's going to become 31 in a matter of about, 4 minutes here.
Telesco now is
there.
one shot good. Telesco is fighting now.
The championship rounds would come just on the stroke of midnight. Jones wouldn't show any signs of tiredness, still stepping gingerly across the ring. The 11th would bring Telesco into the longest fight he has ever faced.
31st birthday. I wonder whether they're going to drop the ball on Times Square for the next 60 seconds. You can't take me out.
Last round, baby. Last round, okay? Last round. Last one.
He could spend his birthday in Radio City Music Hall on stage in a prize ring.
So as Telesco demonstrated at the last...
when he got into the late rounds.
Come on, box!
Dialogue with fists.
The final round would bring taunting from both fighters, the New Yorker shouting, "You can't knock me out, Roy," enticing him to throwing more and hoping to leave a gap in that amazing defence the champion held throughout his career.
Telesco. Roy Jones, I didn't know he had juice.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I had a fractured left hand coming into the fight. But I refused to turn the fight down because I wanted to get this opportunity to do this.
Jones would start the fight on Saturday night with a broken hand at 30 years of age. He would finish the fight an hour later, on Sunday morning, still with a broken hand but aged to 31 and finished on his birthday. And as always, we leave you with one question. Are you an old school fight fan? If so, give the subscribe button a stiff jab. I've been Frank Monroe here at Below the Belt Boxing. Take care.